Now broadcasting from his hidden bunker and fully stocked bar, it is the Saturday Report with Colt Sebastian Taylor.
Thank you and welcome once again, my friends, to the Saturday Report with me, Colt Sebastian Taylor, no longer on AWSM Radio. Yes, my friends, unfortunately, in case you missed the news, missed the announcement, AWSM Radio is no longer carrying my show to the billions around the world. They're doing their thing, digital radio reformatting. They obviously couldn't. They're not doing talk shows anymore. Then obviously I can't be on there because I don't play the music. I just do the talk. So big thanks to them for having me for 3 years. 3 years, man, just over 3 years on there on a weekly basis. Also big shout out to my pal Rox, who I think also left the station too. Maybe that's why. Once they lost Rox, like, oh, we can't keep Colt. He'll be upset that Rox is gone. But anyways, thank you to all who kept that show on there. I really do appreciate it, and it was a very, very delightful time. So the question is, my friends, which I'm sure you're just buzzing about asking on your podcast device right now, what will happen to the Saturday Report with me, Colt Sebastian Taylor? Will I fade off into the sunset? Will I secure a deal with Sirius XM? Will I sell out completely and become a right-wing conspiracy theorist? I'm open to whatever, I don't mind being paid for any of those things for the most part. But until any of those things happen, you know what? I guess I'll just keep putting out episodes here, listening here on Anchor FM, Spotify, and all the other, Pandora. I think there's like 11 places where you can hear this show. So wherever you decide to listen to my dulcet, calming, just almost, lullaby-like voice, you can continue to listen to me there. So I'll be still doing shows for a bit until, life gets in the way. And, so we'll do some more news for a few more weeks, see what happens. And once you know it, maybe we'll go for another 3 years. We'll see what happens. And, I'll be poking around for some, sponsors. I got a few things to read this week. And, good times will be had by all. So, let's get started with this week's Saturday Report. First up this week, an old friend, Hyundai. Yes, my friends, I haven't forgotten about my least favorite car company, Hyundai. For those who are new to the podcast, flashback. I purchased a used car from Hyundai, and about less than a year later, I had to put a new transmission into it, costing me an additional $4,000 to the point where I should have just bought a new car instead of being bamboozled into getting a used car from Hyundai. Well, guess what, my friends? If you have a Hyundai, you may want to check it because nearly 40,000 vehicles are being recalled due to an error in the software that can cause cars to accelerate without warning. Apparently 40,000 Elantra HEVs have a software error that can cause the car to accelerate after the brake pedal is released, which can cause an increased risk of a crash. It covers the 2021 to 2023 Elantra HEV vehicles, which is about 37,997, according to the NHTSA, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. If you got one of those, you may want to get that. Otherwise, you will just zip on along. So owners can contact Hyundai and get that, I guess, fixed and whatnot. And this is also not the first Hyundai recall, because last month, Hyundai recalled 52,000 of its 2023-2024 Palisade SUVs and the 2023 Tucson, Santras, Elantras, and Konas, saying that they need to be inspected and have some parts replaced as well. Quote, owners are advised to park outside and away from any structures until a recall repair is completed. The electronic controller for the idle stop-and-go oil pump assembly may contain damaged electrical components that can cause the pump to overheat and obviously burn down something. So if you have a 2023 Elantra, Kona, Sonata, Tucson, or Hyundai Palisade, you should you should hit them up because your car could either accelerate unexpectedly or catch on fire. Hyundai, once again, showing its quality craftsmanship in its vehicles. At least they're recalling them and not reselling them as used cars and letting the owners deal with it without warranty. Because that's usually how they do business there at Hyundai. Because they are the worst car company and will never be a sponsor of the show. Not true. They can give me a ton of money, and I'd be more than happy to sponsor them. I'm not gonna let principles stand in the way of financial benefit. Anyways, yeah, Hyundai stinks. If you have those Hyundais, you should probably get them checked out. Moving along to some sadder news. Unfortunately, 2 professional wrestlers passed away this week, somewhat unexpectedly. 2 very well-respected and accomplished wrestlers through two different generations, really. First up, Terry Funk. Yes, Terry Funk, WWE Hall of Famer, passed away this week at the age of 79. Pretty amazing career in life. Began wrestling in like the 60s and continued all the way up until about 5 years ago, wrestling late into his 60s and early 70s and whatnot. Best known probably more recently working with Mick Foley and as Cactus Jack. He had careers in various wrestling federations, including the Western State Sports Championship Wrestling from Florida, All Japan Pro Wrestling, the World Wrestling Federation and Entertainment, World Championship Wrestling, WCW, the International Wrestling of Japan Association, Extreme Championship Wrestling, ECW. Then he came back to the WWE, went back to the ECW, came back to WCW, and then was on the independent circuit. Then the NWA Top Total Nonstop Action, made various appearances in WWE, and then did the independent circuit until his final kind of retirement in 2017. Had a number of different championships, including everywhere that he was. I guess probably the most notable ones is that he was the WWE Tag Team Champion with Cactus Jack by Mick Foley. He was named the Best Brawler, Best Heel, Best on Interviews in 1989 by the Wrestling Observer newsletter, as well as the Hardest Worker and Feud of the Year with Ric Flair, who paid tribute to him. And again, he was in the WWE Hall of Fame. He also had a small film role. I think he's probably best known for being in the Patrick Swayze movie Roadhouse, where he played one of the evil bouncers. He also had appearances in Paradise Alley, Over the Top with Sylvester Stallone, Time Stalkers, Active Stealth, Beyond the Mat, Friday Night Lights, and The Ringer. He also appeared in a few television shows, including Swamp Thing, Quantum Leap, Tequila and Bonetti, The Adventures of Briscoe County Jr., Thunder in Paradise, Beyond Belief, Fact or Fiction, and of course various documentaries, including The Dark Side of the Ring. He released some music albums in the early 80s, and one more recently, Texas Bronco, The Great Texan. He's from Texas. And then finally, his last one was Tougher Than Shoe Leather. And then he released 2 bibliographies, 2013, More Than Just Hardcore Wrestling. And then last year, just Terry Funk. Many people paid tribute to him, including Ric Flair, who posted, quote, on Twitter, "In my life, I've never met a guy who worked harder. Terry Funk was a great wrestler, entertainer, unbelievably fearless, and a great friend. Rest in peace, my friend Terry Funk, knowing that no one will ever replace you in the world of professional wrestling. Also passing away this week was Bray Wyatt, which was very, very shocking and unexpected. He was only 35 years old. He was known as The Fiend in the WWE. Had a very big run as this sort of mysterious, evil sort of entity. But yeah, he passed away at 35. No specific information regarding that. Although, according to the internet, he had an underlying health condition that was exacerbated by getting involved with, he got caught COVID-19, and it exacerbated this underlying health condition, and he unfortunately passed away. He thought he was doing better, but he unfortunately passed away. He had been out all of most of 2022 and 2023 dealing with this. Thought that he'd be coming back soon, but he turned for the worse, and he unfortunately passed away. A lot of people paid tributes to him, including Alexa Bliss, who did a program with him in 2020 and 2021 that was very well received. She said, "I'm just in shock, extremely heartbroken, and at a loss for words. What can I say is what an amazing human being Wyndham," which was his real name, is. "An amazing and kind friend, one of the most creative minds ever to walk this earth. Wyndham, you brought so much joy and happiness to everyone around the world. It's going to take some time to really process this. Sending my love to the Rotunda family, JoJo and their babies. We love you, Wyndham." The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, said he did a program with him saying, "I am heartbroken with the news of Bray Wyatt's passing. Always had tremendous respect and love for him and the Rotunda family. Loves his presence, promos, in-ring work, and connection to the WWE universe. A very unique, cool, and rare character, which is hard to do in our crazy world of pro wrestling. Still processing losing the GOAT Terry Funk yesterday and now Bray today. My love, light, strength, and mana to the Rotunda family and Funk family during the tough, heartbreaking time. As always, thank you for the house." The Miz, another wrestler, said, "The world lost a good one today. Bray Wyatt's storytelling ability, along with his unique creativity in the ring, was a force to keep your eyes glued onto the television. Wyndham Rotunda's fun-loving, free-spirited, paired with his infectious laugh, is what I'll truly miss the most. My thoughts and prayers go to the Rotunda family. Rest well, my friend." Matt Hardy, another amazing wrestler, said, "Absolutely shattered to learn that my friend Wyndham Rundon has passed away. It's devastating to think that he left us at only 36 years young. My condolences go out to his family and children. I'm so sorry, my compeer. Miss you already." William Regal, another legend, said, "Devastated to hear the passing of Wyndham Rotunda, Bray Wyatt, but deepest condolences to Mike, Bo, Barry, and the rest of the family. Rest well, my friend." And then Kane, who's also a mayor, said, quote, "Tragic news. Wyndham was an exceptional talent in the ring. His creation, Bray Wyatt, was a kind of character. Backstage, Wyndham was a lot of fun to be around. One of those people you never had a bad day. What a loss, both professionally and personally." So, unfortunately, two wrestling greats, Terry Funk and Bray Wyatt, have both passed away this week. Terry Funk at the age of 39, Bray Wyatt at the age of 36. Very sad. If you have a chance to check out any of their previous work, you really should. They were immensely talented in the ring. Changing gears, for those who have cut the cord for the cable like I have, I'm not paying. I watch most of my stuff streaming as it is, but there are some things you don't get on, the Hulu or the Netflix, and one of those things is CNN. But for those who are subscribers to Max, which is HBO's thing that decided not to use the word HBO, but instead use Max because, branding isn't a thing apparently. Max will launch 24/7 CNN stream for all subscribers next month. So if you have Max, which is from Warner Brothers Discovery, you can now watch something called CNN Max on starting September 27th, so next month. In the press release, the company said it will be part of a new open beta for news that will enable experimentation with product features, content offerings, and original storytelling, all with the input and feedback from the Max community. So it will, you'll be able to see a variety of other original programming on there. Don't confuse it with like regular CNN, but you'll also see other programs on there. So the CNN Max will feature some of CNN's tentpole shows like Anderson Cooper 360, The Lead with Jake Tapper, I Don't Know Poor, and The Situation Room with Wolf Blitzer. But these will all air live, as they do on CNN, but they will also have new programming built specifically for the Max streaming audience, like CNN Newsroom with Jim Acosta, Rachel Solomon, Amara Walker, and Frederica Whitfield, and the CNN Newsroom with Jim Sudoku. According to the press release, it says, quote, "This new 24/7 streaming service will bring the intimacy and value of global breaking news with top analysis, context, reporting across all the biggest stories in the world to the Max streaming audience and enhance the product with the convenience of viewing news anytime, anywhere, on any stream. We're excited to engage the Max community in this initial beta stage to help us learn and develop what appeals most to our customers in this new genre." So, CNN did have its own live streaming service shortly for like a month or two before it pulled the plug on that. It was like CNN Plus and whatnot. That happened about 16 months ago. In fact, the guy in charge of CNN, I think he's on his way out. He's not done a great job at CNN whatsoever. But they're trying to repackage this and redo this and put it out there to their Max subscribers at no extra charge, apparently. They also have 900 episodes of current and legacy programming. For example, if you're a fan of Stanley Tucci, Searching for Italy, and Anthony Bourdain, Parts Unknown, all those past shows will be available to watch on demand on the CNN Max thing on Max itself. So, So, if you have that, you can look forward to that. Do I have that? No, I do not, because I already got too many, and I got plenty to watch on there. And if I want to listen to, well, I don't have to watch CNN. I can also listen to it on Sirius XM, which I do have, which this show's not on yet. Sirius XM, just saying, I'm available. My friends, are you a bit of a nerd? Well, there is a Discord channel out there for you called the Nerd Herd, and they would invite you to join them. Who are they? Well, what do they do? The bunch of nerdy type things. You should join them on Discord. There's weekly games, monthly gatherings. If you are looking for someone to meet people and nerd out, the Nerd Herd has you covered. They have been around for a few years. In fact, I popped on there about a year or two ago, and it's a good time. There's some amazing people, and they have a wonderful community there that's built by adults. So none of those kiddie stuff. So if you are between the ages of 21 to 40, it might be the right place for you. If you have the Discord, you can go to discord.gg/nerd-herd. That should be able to get you there where you need to get there. Also, if you Google Nerd Herd Discord, it's usually the number one result as well. Of course, you can always just tweet me too. I'll send you a link over. Anyways, if you're into gaming, movies, nerd stuff, check out the Nerd Herd on Discord, and you might even see me there, my friends. Colt Sebastian Taylor. Moving along, my friends, turtles. They are popular pets for all ages. Also, they can be ninjas if they're teenagers, from what I understand from various documentaries. But the CDC put out a warning this week, not for a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, but the CDC says you should not kiss or cuddle your turtle. What is this? What is the CDC saying? First it was COVID-19 masks, then it's, don't drink your own pee. Now I can't kiss or cuddle my turtle. Why? Well, salmonella, my friends. Yes, salmonella. Apparently, there is a multi-state salmonella outbreak, and they're saying that it's because people are kissing or cuddling their turtles. And the CDC is telling people not to kiss or cuddle the turtle after 26 people across 11 states have been sickened by salmonella and connected to small turtles. The federal law bans the sale or distribution of turtles with shells less than 4 inches long, because they can cause many illnesses, especially among young children. So it's illegal to buy a tiny turtle, my friends. But in the press release, quote, despite the ban, these turtles can sometimes be found illegally online and at stores, flea markets, and roadside stands. Pet turtles of any size can carry salmonella germs in their droppings, even if they look healthy and clean. These germs can easily spread to their bodies, tank water, and anything in the area they live and roam. You can get sick from touching a turtle and anything in its environment, then touching your mouth or food with unwashed hands, swallowing salmonella germs. Although turtles can carry salmonella germs, turtles with shells less than 4 inches are long known to be source of the illness. So there have been no deaths so far, but 9 people have been hospitalized, and there are definitely 26 people across 11 states with it. Now, symptoms can start anywhere from 6 hours, 6 days. Diarrhea, fever, stomach cramps, all that stuff. And while most people recover without treatment in 4 to 7 days, young children less than 5 and adults over 65 and those with weakened immune systems can have more severe experience with illnesses requiring medical attention or hospitalization. The CDC says you should only buy turtles with shells longer than 4 inches and buy them from a reputable store. Reputable pet stores do not sell turtles shells less than 4 inches long, says the CDC. They also say always wash your hands with soap and water right after touching or feeding your turtle or touching and cleaning the area where it lives and roams. Adults should make sure young children are washing their hands properly. Don't kiss or snuggle your turtle, and don't eat or drink food around it. This can spread salmonella germs to your mouth, make you sick. Keep your turtle out of your kitchen and other areas where you eat, store, and prepare food. I mean, it shouldn't be that hard to do. But, yeah. Also, one more thing, my friends. You have a turtle. Sometimes you can't take care of a turtle. Don't release it into the wild. The CDC said call your local reptile rescue, animal shelter, or pet store about options for safely rehoming your turtle. Releasing turtles into the wild can disrupt wildlife and may be prohibited by law in certain states. So don't just set them free. Find that turtle a new home. Otherwise, it could turn into a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. That's what the documentary said. Moving on to business news. State Farm has officially ended its relationship with Aaron Rodgers after a 12-year partnership. According to various reports, the two sides apparently walked away after the 2022 NFL season, with their last commercial airing in January of this year. From a State Farm spokesman said, quote, "We wish Aaron the best in his future endeavors." State Farm first signed him in 2011 after won his first and only Super Bowl with the Packers and became one of the most famous endorsement pairs in sports. Rodgers became synonymous with State Farm's discount double check, incorporating his championship belt celebration in both games and commercials. Rodgers earned around $3 million a year over a decade from State Farm, one of the most valuable endorsement deals amongst football players. I would like to get my hands on that. However, he did get a bit of backlash in 2021 for not getting the COVID-19 vaccine and saying some pretty crazy stuff. But State Farm stood by Rodgers despite not agreeing with his options. At the time, quote, "Aaron Rodgers has been a great ambassador for our company for much of the past decade. We don't support some of his statements he has made, but respect his right to have his own personal point of view." Can't help but to think that maybe the guy that's against COVID-19 vaccines and safety may not be the best person to be hawking insurance. Go figure. But, however, State Farm is fine. They have an endorsement deal with Patrick Mahomes, the reigning MVP and two-time Super Bowl champion. He has appeared in multiple State Farm commercials along with their character, Jake. And just as a note, my friends, State Farm, I am also available. And you don't need to pay me $3 million a year. I'll do it for $2 million. You save 33%. 33%. That's just, that's crazy, right? Crazy, right? So $2 million a year for 10 years. Get me Colt Sebastian Taylor for State Farm. I won't be paid up front. And I think it'll be a wonderful, wonderful partnership. I'll be waiting. Moving on into other celebrity news, Rumor Willis, the eldest daughter of Demi Moore and Bruce Willis, who you may know is suffering from various, not dementia, but like he has a brain condition. 35 years old, had a child recently named Louetta Isley Thomas Willis, and she revealed in an interview this week that Louetta, which is a very sweet name, was an accident while texting with her boyfriend, Derek Thomas. She told People magazine, quote, "We were thinking about a name, Loretta, and it was a typo. Her dad and I were texting, and he left the R out of Loretta, and it was just Louetta. I was like, oh, I love that. I feel like it was one of those divine intervention universe moments, and we figured out it was actually quite early in my pregnancy." And then Rumor said she's very pleased with the flexibility of the name, as you can do various nicknames from it. Quote, "I wanted to find something that had a lot of versatility. If she doesn't feel like Louetta, she can go by Lou. She can go by Etta. She can go change it up throughout her life, whatever she wants." So Rumor Willis had her first child in April, and this is the first grandchild for Demi Moore and Bruce Willis, who were married for more than a decade until their split into the late 90s. Together they share daughters Rumor, 34, Scout, who's 31, and Talua, 29. She sat down for a lengthy interview with Informed Pregnancy Podcast, talking about her journey to give birth at home with the help of a doula. Her mother and sisters were by her side during labor, along with Derek. Rumor explained that everything was going according to plan, but labor came hard and fast, and she dilated from 2 to 8 inches in about an hour. Now, I'm not a lady. That sounds like that's pretty quick. This meant she had to quickly move into the bathtub and begin pushing, but her doula realized that her water was intact. Quote, "She was checking me, and she felt my water bag bulging, but not popping, which was wild. So I was like, should we just break it? She goes, well, you can. I'm like, what? I was like, are you serious? Serious indeed. Robert decided to take matters in her own hands. I reached in with my fingers up there and fell around. It was crazy. I could feel this little bag. It felt like a water balloon, but with a bit tougher skin. And, yeah, so she broke her own water and gave birth. Anyways, last week she celebrated her 35-year birthday, declaring she's in her hot mom era and has never felt more beautiful in her whole life. Quote, I feel every birthday wish I have ever had has come true tenfold. The past year has come with so much growth, so many challenges, and fears to overcome, but right alongside more joy than I can ever imagine. I truly learned what it is to surrender into the deepest core of myself and find strength and primal power that I didn't know I had. This new version of me is someone I love more than I ever thought I could. I feel more comfortable in my skin, more confident than I ever imagined. I have known for many years that being a mother would bring me into alignment with a divine purpose. I have always felt and known that my intuition was right, has given me a trust with myself that I'm so deeply grateful for. So, yeah, so, anyways, she had a baby in April. Baby's name is Louetta, which is, a great name, and a great name done through a typo. So maybe we'll see more Louettas in the future. So congratulations to Rumor Willis and her father, Derek Thomas, and a new baby, Louetta. What's her full name? What's her full name? Oh, I just had it. Ah, nuts. Where is it? Oh, well. Luetta Willis. Congratulations to all, and I hope you're having a happy and healthy baby. My friends, if you love high fantasy action and adventure and me, Colt Sebastian Taylor, well, my friends, you need to get on the Twitch, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and watch the Longshots Dungeons & Dragons. It is a Dungeons & Dragons Twitch stream live on Twitch where there's high fantasy and adventure. And not only do I, Colt Sebastian Taylor, participate in, but we have folks from around the world. That's right. We have folks in Canada, Kentucky, Florida, and even far off New Zealand. Yes, the land over next to the land down under New Zealand. Great time. Have been doing this for over a year. I think close to 2 years. I don't know. It's been so long. Recently wrapped up campaign 1 where I portrayed a fantasy version of myself, Colt Sebastian Taylor, and now I am a large herrington, which is a big old rabbit, named Bretland Loyalfoot. So it's just started, just the first few sessions. You don't need to catch up on any backstory. We have our own Discord channel, so check out twitch.tv/ what is it again? I should really write this down. Twitch.tv/ the Longshots D&D. Link is in below. And join us, follow. If you want to subscribe with a free Amazon Prime subscription, also helps and whatnot, helps update and whatnot. So check it out, especially like Dungeons & Dragons. There's lots of shenanigans to be had. Check it out Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m. on twitch.tv/ the Longshots D&D. Next up, my friends, we go to sports. I'm getting a lot of WNBA stories in my feed recently, and my friends, recently, this week, Ajaya Wilson tied the WNBA point record, and Aces, which is, I guess, her nickname, says she's just starting. She tied the NBA single-game record with 53 points against the Las Vegas Aces. Okay, I guess. Aces is Las Vegas. Victory. Oh, she plays for the Aces. Oh, I see. Over the Atlantic Dream, but her teammates say she's just starting to reach her prime. She made 16 of 23 spots with just one three-pointer in the 112-100 win Tuesday at the Gateway Center Arena in Atlanta. The veteran center totaled 7 rebounds, 4 blocks in 33 minutes and 18 seconds of action. She's the third player to score 50 points in a single game. Her 53 points tied Liz Cambage's record from 2018. Raquel Williams scored 51 points in 2013 for the Tulsa Shock. Aces guard Kelsey Plume said, "She's just different. I feel like we're watching a generational talent. I think we gotta stop comparing people and just look at them as being great. What we are seeing right now is a historic run, and it's just the beginning. This is one of the greatest players of all time, and she's just starting to play." She said after the game, quote, "My teammates found me in my spots, and I was just really aggressive." Her record tying total came 11 days after she scored a previous career high 40 points in a win over the Washington Mystics. Her coach Becky Hammond said, "She's just special. Her real gift is her humility and grace and how she handles herself and her teammates. She's a phenomenal superstar." She's only 27 years old, and she now has a career average high of 23.3 points, 9.5 rebounds, 2.1 blocks, 1.8 assists, and 1.4 steals per game this season while playing for the Las Vegas Aces. The 5-time All-Star, 2-time WNBA MVP, averaged 31.3 points and 9.8 rebounds over her last 6 games. That is a lot of points. She's the reigning MVP and Defensive Player of the Year. She led the Aces to their first title last season. She is from South Carolina, where she averaged 19.7 points per game over her first 182 appearances since entering the league as the number 1 overall pick in the 2018 WNBA draft. So, wow. That is a ton of points for Ms. Wilson. Well done. Keep up the good work. Next, my friends, we go to China, where, it's not exactly a place where you can voice your mind as often as you would like. Well, China recently has been kind of stepping up its exit bans, barring people from leaving the country, including domestic critics and foreign executives and whatnot. But some people do manage to get out of there one way or another. And recently, someone used a jet skiing hundreds of miles across the sea to South Korea. The South Korean Coast Guard picked him up near the port city of Incheon, according to a statement that a man who was in his 30s tried to illegally enter the country on August 16th using a jet ski from the Shandong area of China. Each province has 2 miles away across the Yellow Sea. He's being detained and investigated for immigration law violations. The Coast Guard said the man said he left China on his own jet ski, wearing a life vest and a helmet, carrying a navigator and binoculars. The man also carried 5 containers of fuel, which is about 6.6 gallons of gas, because jet skis generally don't have a 200-mile range. And making sure he had enough fuel to get to South Korea. The man reached there and was picked up by the Coast Guard because he got stuck in the mud, and then called the Coast Guard to save him. Now, apparently, he has visited the area several times before, so he's kind of familiar with the area. The South Korean authorities say his name is Mr. A. That's all they're referring to him. And he was handed over to police. Lee Dae-seon, a pro-democracy activist based in South Korea, said the man was a Chinese dissident known as Kwon Pyong. According to NBC, he was trying to leave China since the crackdown in Hong Kong in 2019, saying he served an 18-month prison sentence for inciting subversion of state power, and was released in 2018. And then he wasn't allowed to leave the country. So he got himself on a jet ski and got out of there. He told democracy activists that he said, quote, "They told me that they found out the Chinese authorities said that Kwon was banned from leaving China for the next 99 years. It's a bit high. So he had no choice but to flee China for his safety." He said that Kwon attended the Iowa State University as a degree in aerodynamics. And then he said he bought the jet ski shortly before departing from the Shandong province. So, crazy stuff. That's like a movie of a jet ski with 6 cans of gas trying to dash 200 miles across the open ocean. The old sea can be a dangerous place, and then picked up by the South Korea Coast Guard. I bet the South Korea cinema, which does some amazing stuff. Really good South Korean movies out there. I predict this will be a movie within 5 years. 5 years, tops. Yes, my friends, we go to India for a story that, to follow up on a previous episode, India, a few months ago, launched a probe to land on the moon, and it successfully landed on the moon this week, and the little rover went out to explore the southern pole of the moon. India is the only 4th nation to successfully land something on the moon. The first obviously being the United States, Russia / the USSR, and China. India is now the 4th historic touchdown on the moon's south pole, according to the India Space Research Organization. They said that India took a walk on the moon in a press release. The Chandrayaan-3 rover is expected to do experiments for 14 days, including analysis of mineral composition on the lunar surface. This was a nationwide event where lots of people in the country of over 1 billion people were watching it on TV, in offices, shops, and restaurants. There was a lot of celebration at the lander's smooth touchdown. It landed on uncharted territory on the moon. Scientists believe they could hold vital reservations for frozen water that could be used for future moon colonization. The headline of the Times of India said, quote, India goes where no nation's gone before. The moon is Indian. Ajay Bravga, a New Delhi-based architect, said it was a great experience watching broadcasts of the landing and that he felt it was a culmination of hard work by India scientists over the years. Quote, Prime Minister Modi and any other politician should not take credit for this achievement, saying that it should be reserved for the scientists behind it. The Indian Space Research Organization chairman S. Somnath said that the lander had touched down close to the center of a 2.8-mile wild area that had been targeted for the landing. It landed within 300 meters, about 1,000 feet of that point, in a press release to India saying that the rover was moving along and working very, very, very well. After a failed, this kind of funny because Russia tried to land something on the moon this week and it crashed into there. After a failed attempt to land on the moon in 2019, India said on Wednesday it joined the other countries as the only fourth country to achieve this milestone. The successful mission shows India's rising standing in technology and space powerhouse, with dovetails with the image of Modi is trying to protect an ascendant country asserting its place among the global elite. The mission began more than a month ago and it costed $75 million. And India said it would attempt a manned lunar mission in the future. So perhaps India will land people on the moon within, a few years. Who knows? This comes days after Russia's Luna 25 was aiming for the same lunar region. It spun into an uncontrollable orbit and crashed. It would have been the first successful Russian lunar landing in over 47 years. The Russia's head of state-controlled Space Corporation attributed the failure to the lack of expertise due to the long break of lunar research that followed the last Soviet lunar mission in 1976. So, congratulations to all my friends in India, listeners of the show, I'm sure, still continuing, for successfully becoming the fourth country to land something successfully on the moon. Well, my friends, before I take off for the day, let me tell you about two things I enjoy using. First up is Smart News. It's an app for your phone that pulls in a bunch of different sources. It gives you both sides of a conversation, both sides of a topic or whatnot. Or if you don't want to listen to slack-jawed yokels, you can just listen to one side. That's fine too. Check them out. Smart News. Download it for your phone. I get alerts throughout the day for interesting things. And some of the stories you heard today, I got alerted this week with Smart News. So you should definitely listen to me, but also download it for your phone, set it up, so you can get the alerts for the things you find to be most important. And then second, as always, my amazing, wonderful, fantastic friends at Social Bee. They are a social media management tool that enables you to post across your profiles like Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, Pinterest, Google My Business, and TikTok. They have a multitude of integrations, including Canva, Unsplash, Gifly. You can structure content into categories to obtain solid and balanced mix. Connect RSS feeds of any blog to import content automatically. You can customize posts for each social media network. So, like, you can have a little bit different Facebook, a little bit different Twitter, Google My Business, all these sort of things. You can customize it for each profile. You can automatically generate hashtags based on images or a caption, which I use all the time. Recycle evergreen posts and set up a posting schedule for all your profiles, which I do. And then track your links performance. There are 5 URL shorter integrations in there. I use Bitly, and so I can keep track of all of my links and their performance. So check them out. socialbee.io. 14 days for free. No credit card need. You don't even need a password. Just tell them that Colt Sebastian Taylor sent you. It doesn't give you anything extra. It'd just be funny if they hear that entirely too much. Well, my friends, that just about wraps up this week's Saturday Report with me, Colt Sebastian Taylor, no longer on AWSM Radio, so only on Anchor.fm/Spotify and YouTube and wherever else you'd like to listen to podcasts and stuff. Shout out once again to my pal Rox for the last 2 years keeping me on AWSM Radio. Also, shout out to the Nerd Herd, one of the unofficial, not quite a sponsor of the show, the Longshots D&D. Yes, check them out as well. And also socialme.io and Smart News. I will return next week with another selection of news stories I think you should know about here. So subscribe to anchor.fm/Colt S. Taylor. Find me on various social media networks like Twitter and Instagram, Facebook, and Cameo, and Counter Social at Colt S. Taylor. And follow ColtSebastianTaylor.com, which I will now have to update to reflect the new status of the show. I'll probably do that, sometime this weekend. So, until next time, my friends, I am, of course, your friend, the one, the only, Colt Sebastian Taylor, and I'll see you later.